Hi, this is Dani Filth from Devilment, and you're listening to Metal Ignition.
Danny, so we've got the brand new album for you guys, The Great and Secret Show. Now it's coming out on October 31, Halloween. You timed that quite nicely, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it's actually coming out November the 3rd, but it's only a weekend's difference.
Oh, okay. Well,
well timed, you first thought, but well timed enough.
So you guys went and recorded at Grindstone Studios with Scott Atkins. Now you've done work with him before, obviously with Cradle, and he's got some solid bands under his belt. Was that something that you ultimately thought once you guys got all the songs together, that's where it was going to really help the band flourish as far as getting the songs recorded?
Well, Scott's a close friend of everybody in the band. It's a very, as opposed to Cradle of Filth, it's a very localised band. That's how I got to be involved with them 3 years ago, meeting the original guitarist, and then just assimilated a band of local miscreants over the next couple of years before going into the album. But yes, we knew Scott really well, and he's, like I say, he's a friend. In fact, he's actually boyfriend of Lauren, the keyboardist, and that's since that's happened. But we're all very sort of, like I say, very localised. The drummer and guitarist who play football together on a Wednesday. We've got a house of Devilment where they live, which is only a couple of streets from where I live. So we have parties there, and our management is actually Paul Ryan, who was the original guitarist of Cradle of Filth, who, after leaving in '95, went on to become quite an astute booking agent with the agency group. So he's also Devilment's booking agent, and more recently than that, he's become Cradle of Filth's booking agent as well. So we're kind of keeping everything in-house, and it's not well known either, but Cradle of Filth have also just signed to Nuclear Blast, so both bands are under their wing as well. So with that in mind, we've been building up this kind of operation, I guess.
A base camp for both bands, almost.
Yeah. Basically. So it works out quite nicely. In respect to both bands, won't be tripping over each other's toes when it comes to the live scenario, especially with summer festivals next year.
Yeah.
Cradle album's due to hit at the beginning of June next year, which is pretty much the opposite end of the year to the Devilment one, so they keep that in quite nice orbit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've ever done this, split my time between two bands.
Yeah.
But, it's the first time for everything, and just adjusting to it.
Yeah.
There's rule books to follow, so just taking each day as it comes. But yeah, life is getting a little bit busy.
Yeah. Enjoying it, no doubt, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because obviously, just listening to, for those fans who have only heard Mother Callie and even Your Blood Group Rejects Me Now, which is the brand new official video that's dropped. It's definitely a different direction for you as far as musically. It's really probably a nice refreshment for you, I suppose, and something different and easier for you to take it easier, I suppose, in a way. How you said everyone's in the same areas, so.
Yeah. There's a lot of different material on the album. I wouldn't say that I judge the album on those two songs, because they're compared to some of the other tracks, they're quite simplistic, but sometimes simple works.
That's right, yeah.
It's vastly different from Cradle of Filth, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
It'd be ridiculous to do another band that was exactly the same as Cradle. Cradle, they're just doing an album, finish writing the album, the new album, and it's really like fast, ornate, a lot of twin guitar harmonies, a lot of massive orchestral. You know, it's a real journey. It's great, but Devilment's more about the big beat, about choruses, about sounding creepy and sort of big spaces, big production.
It's very. I find it's very guitar driven. The songs. I've listened to the album at least twice through now in the last hour or so, and there are a lot of versatility in the style of riffs that are coming out. Throughout each song, there's at least a dozen riffs in each song, but there still seems to be that nice almost theme riff that carries on through as well, which sort of gives me that sort of like you said, simplistic feel, but then all of a sudden you do a 180 into the next, say, verse or interlude, and it's complicated. So it's a really unique sound that you guys have put together.
Yeah, we like to think so.
The distortion sounds really good, and the drums are really crisp and tight sounding. The vocal delivery is flawless from yourself, and is it Lauren? Is it?
The keyboardist.
Yep.
Slash backing vocalist.
And this is her first time recording on an album as well, was it?
No. She's actually been in a few prolific bands, but none of them have been in the metal genre.
Of this genre, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
We're actually, she's having a bit of a learning curve. She's like started to. We've been giving her like a lot of movies to watch, metal movies
What was first off the list to get her to sit down and watch?
Like Western Civilizations, there's Arena Special, and there's another one that I'm not quite familiar with, but it goes right through extreme metal. So she was basically given her introduction to like Venom and Carcass and Napalm Death and everything like that. So that's what she's doing at the moment. She's got like a homework set out. But I think that's quite cool, the fact that she has come from a non-metal background, because it's just brought something quite fresh to the songs.
It's very exciting as far as a bunch of metalheads sitting around trying to write music, and someone steps in and they're not from that realm, and they say, hey, how about this? And it's something you probably never would have thought of. So it's definitely refreshing. You should certainly get her to get a copy and watch the brand new Australian metal documentary called Metal Down Under. That's
that's cool.
Get her onto that for sure. And get a nice glimpse into the birth of metal down here in Australia. So
yeah, sounds cool.
So you guys were about 8 months of development to get to the stage of recording. Is that right?
No, we were about 2 years on and on. You got to realise that I was writing albums with Cradle and touring with Cradle. Well, writing an album, which was the Manticore and Other Horrors, and then we went off on a world tour. So yeah, if you actually broke it down into days and then pieced it back together again, it probably would be about 8 months.
Right. So you guys obviously had a lot of time to reflect on the songs, while recording, and then coming back and listening and studying them a little bit more rather than going in and rushing and saying, okay, that's it, let's go, we're done. Do you think that helped?
Yeah, definitely had a chance to revisit stuff. And Scott, he has this sort of mantra, which is there are too many bands polluting the metal highway, and he didn't want us to become one of their casualties. So, first thing we did was trim down, the fat from the chat. We basically got rid of 4 songs completely and concentrated on. He didn't want us to spread ourselves too thinly.
Right.
So we just concentrated on making sure we had a really strong album that wasn't too long and the right amount of tracks on it. There's
10 tracks
coming out at the same time with 3 bonus tracks.
Right.
As well. So yeah, we just we had a chance to revisit and recoup and listen to things and decide how it was going to play and concentrate on getting good production and not overdoing stuff, not putting too much stuff on there, so that we could garner like a lot of space and a lot of headroom and versatility. And yeah, sometimes making it simpler. The amount of what's going on makes it sound bigger.
Now you mentioned the bonus tracks. Now I understand that there's an interesting Australian cover that you guys decided to throw on there by Midnight Oil, Beds Are Burning. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, it was. I kind of got it through my thick skull that it'd be a good idea to do it because I was fond of the song anyway. But I heard it on my birthday last year and kind of drunkenly suggested it to everyone.
I see.
And it's great. I mean, it's not on the main hub of the album, but then we wanted to keep it to just original tracks. But it's huge sounding. It's obviously been bastardized to sound very metal, and it's got a great hook, creepy, almost Exorcist style keyboard line that joins in pre-chorus. But yeah, it's very similar to the original in respect to structure and chorus. You know, it's unmistakably the track. And I also drafted my friend Bam Majera from Jackass in to do some vocals because he's been touring with his band Fuckface Unstoppable. And last year he paid for me and my wife to go to Iceland for his wedding, and he dragged me on stage at the wedding to sing an Anathema song called Sleepless. So I thought I'd return the favour by asking him to appear on the Devilment song.
I did read about that, so yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so he went into a studio in Philadelphia with quite a big producer. I think he used to work in Motown or something, but yeah, it sounds great. It sounds like his vocals actually sound a lot like Pete Steele from Typo Negative.
Wow.
The track, yeah, I mean, it's as good as anything on the album, and it's, you know, you hear it and go, oh my god, you know, because the original's a classic track. And
so does he have parts on parts of his own in the songs, or is it purely just backup?
Yeah, it's like call and response almost in the pre-chorus. I like doing the first part, and then he joins in with call and response, and then we all join in for the chorus. But yeah, it's pretty epic.
It's a true duo style, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Now let's talk about videos that you guys have got. Now there's Mother Cali, which is the lyric video. Even Your Blood Group Rejects Me, which is the new creepy style video, which you guys certainly had a lot of thought and passion put into it. Is it everything you thought that you wanted it to be?
We were obviously given a budget that was about a third of what we'd usually get for Cradle of Filth. So we approached it very guerrilla style. We got a very good video director on board who came down several times and worked quite intimately with the band. We stripped our rehearsal room back and black clothed it all out. We dispensed with like catering. We just got like snacks and stuff up and getting the caterers in, and we didn't have. My wife and my daughter did makeup and hair for people, and our local photographer came in and helped on the day. So yeah, we redirected the money toward like post-production, getting a really good color gradist, because the video is very Vogue, like almost like a fashion shoot.
Yeah.
Obviously very dark. And because Sam Scott Hunter, the director, has got a real big visual eye for things because he's a photographer at heart, he introduced these reds and stuff and shot a lot of stuff in photography studios. We also got an exotic dancer from Seattle called Nagasita involved, so had someone fly out and shoot her parts as well. And also Drake Mephisto, who's the guy responsible for all the artwork on the album, on the lyric video, on the adverts and merchandise, whatever.
Sure.
He came on board as a sort of artistic director as well, and so he also lent his contribution to it. So basically, it was a bit guerrilla, but I think it looks brilliant because a lot of people worked very hard on it, and it wasn't, the work wasn't spread out amongst 25 people,
It was very intimately done, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you guys will be planning for another style video down the track?
Yeah, I mean, there's talk of one after Christmas. There's also talk about another lyric video, which is going to be a little bit more in depth, because we're going to be given a little bit more time to do that as well, which will probably come out around the same time as the album.
Oh, wonderful. So how do people get their hands on the album that has the bonus tracks?
Well, that'll be coming out the same day, or you can order all the Amazons. Every Amazon across the world should have. If you go and pre-order the album, it should come up with the special edition, which is not only does it have the 3 bonus tracks, but it also has extended artwork as well.